Go, can I see my this right here in case, yeah. All right, guys, I'm heading to the campus police department. I'm here, talk to them about everything that's going on. They threatened to arrest me, so I'm gonna get the details and see what's gonna happen. Hello. Can I speak to, I don't know if I'm in the right place. Can I speak to a lieutenant or a chief in this location?
You want to get there?
Oh, I guess so. Hello? I'd like to speak to chief or lieutenant. I was approached by officers today on campus. I'm campus preacher. They got my identification. My name's Chris Swochak. And I'd like to speak to a chief or lieutenant about the incident. No, I want to address the situation to make sure that we both can mutually work together so I don't waste your time and there's not any issues on campus in the future. Yeah, my first name is Chris, last name is Swochak.
Did you guys fill out the thing?
Yeah. Okay. What do you think?
S is in Sam, V is in Victor, O-C-H-A-K.
Oh, okay.
And you were here already?
I've been here all day.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably why you did it.
Don't do that.
That's like Twitter. I was like, what the fuck can I do that? You might as well.
Who the fuck are we seeing? I don't know.
Is there an option for I don't know?
There's a chief. Have you seen the fucking chief?
Oh, no. Bro, what do you press? Be a woman would probably be better.
Yeah. I know you had to fill out this fuck ass iPad on my place.
I don't think you're gonna have to. I don't really know.
Roofies.
That's not. Dude, here, kitty. Look. What's your email address?
Like my user, huh?
I guess.
Smiling Mason at user. Just,
Oh,
I'm gonna
take a photo of your face.
Why? Sigh.
No fucking way. Oh my god, this is the funniest thing
I'm
I've
gonna
ever
get
done.
gaslit.
What?
I feel I'm gonna get gaslit. They're gonna be like, you don't get.
Probably.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
That's the love for you. Dude. What does this even mean?
Thank you. Your contact has been notified of your arrival.
Thanks. I don't even know who I just contacted, but I'm sure Administrative Bureau sounds right. She's been asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been asking me.
And they had.
Why would you ever want to do that?
Like, yeah, it's like whatever. And then she actually ended up. She stood me up, and I was like, she literally.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Brian, she expects people to treat her nice.
Bye.
How do you do this? What is this contraption? I don't know.
I don't know. It's got 4-way ice. I wonder how long it's here.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna get over this shit.
We look horrible.
No, I know.
Guys, this is so embarrassing. Our next PC is going to be trash because
Well, I know.
of this.
But I need to bring these ladies inside. Do they need a pass to bring them inside now?
It's the three of you?
The three of them, we can
Who's-
bring them in?
We can just go out there.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll just, come on, get out there.
You sure?
So who's the main one?
Oh, how to sign again?
No, because now you sign out.
Oh,
Just
this-
push it. Push the button. No, push the button. No.
Sir, do I need to register in that, or just the phone call is fine?
Pardon me?
Do I need to sign into that thing, or is it-
Everybody just sign.
Oh well, I didn't.
let me see if I can do something.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
No.
No. You try to find the application where you can sign, but
That's what I'm looking
I
for.
don't see it right there. Let me see. No.
Guess nobody's doing it.
Oh, no, sign it. Can't use it. Yeah.
I don't know. Where's the application that we sent? We can ask him to the top.
This thing,
You find it?
I was able to get in. I don't know what I was supposed. It says I'm here to meet some. It's only if I'm here to meet somebody. I just said chief of police. I don't know what to say.
Okay.
I mean, do you know how this works, or?
Oh, good.
I mean, I don't.
Sir, are you just waiting to sign out?
Yes.
You don't worry about it. We'll take care of it.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
I was just gonna ask him a question, but he walked out. Did you just sign in on the iPad?
I did.
Okay, good. He'll be right with you.
Okay.
Thank you. Your contact has been notified of your arrival.
Hey.
Sir, how are you?
Good, how's it going?
What's going on?
Hey, are you Captain? Okay. Yeah, I'm Chris.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm
Nice
Chris.
to meet you.
Hi.
going
Yeah, I have a ministry with my wife where we preach the gospel, like homeless shelters, and go to campuses and stuff like that. Now, I was preaching in front of the Student Center today, MSC,
Uh-huh.
and I had one officer, one of your K-9 unit officers, come to me and talk to me. She said I was, first she said I was causing a disturbance and said I needed to leave. And then another person came and said there was 3 different calls of causing a disturbance. And then somebody on the campus said something different, that I was interrupting student activities. And I asked them specifically which activities I was interrupting, and they didn't give me anything. And I just was trying to let them know about the state statute 104097, which says there has to be reasonable reasons. I don't know exact terminology, you can look it up yourself. But there has to be reasonable reasons for time, place, and manner restrictions on free speech anywhere on campus. That's the Campus Free Speech Act that was passed last year. I'm sure you might have heard of it. But it also says at the end of it, if those aren't followed, that the person that gets their free speech violated for doing those things, the expressive activities, can file for injunctive relief and court costs if those are violated. Mm-hmm. And so I believe that today that was violated because I was never given an exact reason. Nobody gave me and there was people that were 40 feet away that were giving pizza away. And I asked, they said that not the officer, but the man who was doing it was the man that have this on footage, and I'm sure your officers have body cams, right?
So one of the USF workers?
One of the USF workers said that I was interrupting activity. And he pointed over there and I said, did they say that? Because did they say I was interrupting them, handing out pizza? And he didn't answer me. And neither did the officers. They just said there was disturbances. There was a couple people I saw call the police that were walking by that didn't want to hear me speak, but that's actually all federal court cases. If somebody doesn't want to hear it, that's called the heckler's veto, which is not in federally, like it's already been ruled. If somebody doesn't want to hear it, that's not a reason you can stop somebody from speaking. I had no amplification. I wasn't yelling at the top of my lungs, and even if I was, it's the sound of my voice. So I was wondering, sir, how we can solve this, because I want to speak freely on your campus. I'm coming back, another time, but
yeah, I mean, you've been here before, right?
Yesterday was my first day here.
Okay, you were here yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember hearing about it too. So with campus policies and stuff like that, so the USF worker that contacts you, what his job is to do is he knows when the reservations are in certain areas. Mm-hmm. And so if we have someone that comes on the campus and if someone's causing a disruption to the reservation, they'll ask you to just move somewhere else. Right. And you can move into another open area that's nearby. They're not asking you to leave the campus, not asking you to vacate anywhere else, just move to the next open area. I think that's what happened yesterday.
That's not exactly what happened yesterday. What happened was there was a campus, not the police, a campus worker came to me and told me I was causing a disturbance to that place. And then I said I wanted to move over another place, and he says, oh, if he goes over there, he'll cause a disturbance to them. Yeah. So he's basically inciting the officers, saying beforehand that I'm causing a disturbance when it's not even happening yet. Yeah. And that's all on camera, and I'm wondering why he's trying to oppress my speech, and nobody's complaining but him, and the officers are doing whatever he says, maybe because he's a dean or...
Well, he's part of the event response team.
Right, but if the event isn't saying I'm interrupting their event, then why would it be... Nobody even answered me when I said, am I causing a disturbance to this event? The only thing I heard was one of your officers said that multiple people that were walking by said you were causing a disturbance, which actually that violates... To say that it's a disturbance to speak freely, anything, even if it was hate speech, which it's not, even if I was saying something really mean, he said he would arrest me if I didn't leave. And under that, are you aware of that state statute, 104097?
Well, the thing that happened yesterday is we did get calls on you yesterday.
Right.
But
Mhm.
We didn't do anything about it because
Right.
you were right. It's free speech, right?
Right, but he told me about those calls today and said I was causing a disturbance. And he said so I had to leave.
Well, and that was his job to determine that because he's
Yeah.
representative of the university.
I asked, but can you ask my question? Are you aware of that statute 104097 that says Campus Free Speech Act? That you can't like violate a person's right to free speech on your campus. Are you aware of
for
that?
the open spaces, right?
For any spaces, it says.
Well, open spaces that aren't reserved for.
It says there's no free speech areas. That's what that act says. There's no free speech areas on campus.
Because there are limited spaces, right, for academic areas, so on and so forth.
I was not an academic area.
No, you weren't. You're in an open area, right? Because
Yeah.
you're outside.
I wasn't in the
Yeah,
classroom.
I'm good at things.
Yeah.
So you're outside, open area, right? So you should be, in a typical day, you'd be allowed there, right? If there's no reservations.
There was no reservations on the spot I was at. Within 60 feet, there was nobody there.
From what I was told by the event response member, there
Sure.
was a reservation.
For the place I was standing?
I don't know. Was
That's
it near-
impossible. I was on top of a reserved that fountain. There was nobody there.
There's not a like a distance per se. It's just if it's a disturbance to the event itself.
But nobody answered me,
that-
sir, including you, whether I was causing a disturbance to the event.
I wasn't there, so I can't tell you with you.
And they never, that's the thing is, if you guys want to be reasonable with me, I want to be reasonable with you. I don't want you guys to get in trouble. I don't want me to get in trouble. So that's why I'm saying this. You said you're aware of the statute. Your officer said I was causing a disturbance. And he said it was by people that were walking by. On camera, told me that it wasn't the people in the event, it was the people walking by. So that's why that violates that statute. And I want to make sure that you guys know that you're in violation of that statute.
Well, if the USF member, the events
Right.
response team member,
Mhm.
dictates that you are violating the policy,
Under subjective reasoning, without anybody saying it's being violated.
if he determines
It says it has to be clearly cut. It says in the statute that it has to be clearly defined what is being disturbed. And that was not given to me. That's in that statute.
I can't tell you.
Would you like me to show you that statute?
Just let me explain real quick. If I can't tell you, I wasn't there. I can't explain why
Right.
he didn't give you a full explanation. What he was told, why it was a disturbance. I can't say that. I don't work for the event response team, but what I can say is they're the first ones that will contact you to say, hey, you're making a disturbance. If you can just move over here, right? If we have someone that refuses to do that, it gets escalated a little bit further, and then eventually we get involved. And then we come in here, we try to say, okay, hey, you're just causing a disturbance, if we can have you move over. And eventually, if you don't move over, it can turn into being a trespass order because you're still violating the policy for the campus.
Right.
But that's also dictated by the member.
But if nobody tells me how I'm violating it, sir, how am I supposed to follow it? You guys never told me, your officers never once informed me of what I was disturbing.
What did
They never said that there was they never said that anybody at that place said I was disturbing it. Nobody, and I asked them specifically, I said, sir, which student interaction and academic purpose am I violating? Nobody answered me. The only thing that one of your officers said is that people didn't like what I was saying. Specifically, he said that, and that's actually a violation of that statute.
Yeah.
Which that's actually illegal to even tell somebody this disturbance, and they have to legally get arrested if they're telling them it's a content-based restriction. That's called free speech violation.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a serious thing. I don't want you to get in trouble. Your officers.
I know my guys went down there. It wasn't
Right.
for what you were saying.
That's what they said, though.
It was for because the event response guy called saying they needed you just to move, and then you didn't want to move because you were.
Well, all three of your officers had three different things to say, by the way.
Yeah.
So they were all on
I'd have
different
to
pages.
look at their cameras.
It's very difficult to follow what your officers say if they're on a different page. You probably should have one person speak for them. It'd be easier.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm going to come back, and if nobody tells me that I feel as if now, since I went back to the same spot the second day,
Yeah.
and there was barely anybody there, and there was giving out pizza. I mean, subjectively, that's, in a court of law, if somebody's giving out pizza and there's a preacher 60 feet away, do you think a judge is really gonna think that that's disturbing of people giving out pizza? I don't think so at all. It has to be, the statute 104097 says it has to be a substantial disturbance for the person to be told they're leaving campus. And if that oppression at the end of the statute, it says, sir, that if there's a violation of that statute, that there's going to be personal liability of the officers too. So I think you should read it in detail to make sure your officers aren't violating this. Are you, so is your chief, I asked to speak to the chief, is he not here today?
He might be in a meeting.
In a meeting, okay.
Yeah, grab me.
Okay.
So you're going to come back out tomorrow, you said? Or
I'll be back. I'm spontaneous. So I'm not going to inform where I'm coming. You know, I'm just going to come back whenever I want.
I mean, we get people all the time.
Sure you do.
We don't, I mean, we never, I don't think we've ever kicked anybody off. Everyone's been just fine.
Well, I just got kicked off of a certain area, you know, and they asked for my ID, even though it's unlawful. I asked him why they're asking for my ID. Am I doing something illegal? And he said no, but he said, I'm asking you for your ID. That is not a lawful order. He basically told me to give me my ID and told me I wasn't doing anything unlawful, but he said, you have to give me your ID. He said those words, which is actually a violation as well, not of the First Amendment, but of illegal search and seizure. Mm-hmm. So that alone is also a violation of my rights, sir. And I think your officers should really worry about the law and what they've sworn to uphold. I don't want to have a problem with you guys, but it seems to me like I have a right to be heard, you know. And so I was in a place where pizza was being given out, and it's not even in a subjective realm to say that I was, you know. If you look at the video, your officers have body cam. You can see it if you'd like. I might request. Can I request body cam footage?
Yeah, you can call our.
Yeah, I'd like to see how the interactions you guys have with each other and other people too, to make sure that, you know, whatever was said, to make sure that, you know, there's not a big issue here. As I said, I don't want to cause a problem. I don't want you guys to have a problem. I don't want me to have a problem. I want to speak freely. I don't want you guys to go about your day. You got much more things to worry about than me. I'm just speaking the word of God.
Yeah. I'm
not there to hurt anybody, but it seems to me like I was just standing on a bench. I wasn't approaching anybody or anything else. You know, so like if one person's speaking is that big of a deal to where you guys have to send 3 officers to unlawfully get my ID and tell me to leave somewhere that's handing out pizza because I'm speaking, that's a big issue. I think that's an illegal thing to do. And I'm worried that you guys continue to do that you're going to have a problem legally. So.
Yeah, I don't think it was because you're speaking. I think it's because when we got a call, it was because they told us that you were causing a disturbance and weren't moving.
Right. It's interesting that the only time the 2 times that the officers came out was whenever not the person that was doing the pizza, but it was the organizers of the community. It was like one of your deans or something.
Yeah.
That was the only time that your officers came out, was whenever he came by. So it seems to me like he had the problem. He thought it was a disturbance to him, not the pizza. The pizza people never looked over at me and came to me and told me to stop.
Yeah.
Nobody asked me to move or stop. The first thing I heard was the police come by.
Well, they do. They're the ones that dictate where the disturbances are happening.
Sure.
And they let us know, and that's when we come in. We try to come in and say, hey, if we can just move over a little bit, whatever. And these little areas over here that aren't going to be causing a disturbance that's happening. However far was you say you're like 40 feet away from?
Well, I asked your officer, I said, how far do I got to go away? And he said, well, if you're asking me, you got to go 400 feet away. I said, do I have to? Or are you just telling me that's what your subjective thinking is?
Is it just a random number?
Yeah, give me a random number on camera. It's like, yeah, go 400 feet away. Like 4 football fields. That's crazy, man. Like, it's crazy to be like, you know, like to say that you got to go 4 football fields away to not disturb people giving out pizza, man. Are you serious?
And you know, you just
I'm just being, I know, but it's just, come on. I mean, 4 football fields away from people giving out pizza with your natural voice.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a bullhorn. How can, that's just, it seems to me like he's going over the top. And he didn't say I had to, but he never gave me a distance either. I said, how far could I have to go away? And he never told me. Okay. So like, if I can't, first of all, he's not giving me a reason why I violated. And the second thing is, he never gave me a distance I had to go away.
Yeah.
So he basically set me up for getting arrested again. For getting a threat of arrest again and getting arrested. Because he threatened me with arrest and never told me how far I needed to go away. So you have to have a reasonable, like, rules, time, place, and manner rules in order to not violate Section 104097 of the Campus Free Speech Act. So I'm concerned, Captain Pippin, about your officer. Pippin, like
Like
It's
basketball player.
like no. Well, no, like the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, you're gonna say like Hobbit?
You don't look like him. I'm just saying. You don't look like him. It's just a name. But no. But I think it's no. I just think it's very concerning to me because I don't want your officers to get in trouble. I don't want to get arrested, obviously.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I've been threatened with arrest over 3 different officers saying 3 different things. Very. In order to speak. So that's very concerning to me because that's very oppressive and
They've
very
been here
subjective.
They've been here a long time,
Right?
And they know what to do. I'll look at what
Sure.
they said.
Right. Right, it's oppressive, right? So it's like, well, what do I do? You know,
Well, you know the
like,
rules,
do I get
right?
arrested because I'm just speaking somewhere in the middle of nowhere?
As long as you're in,
Right?
as
I
long
mean-
as you're in an open area, and so here's the deal. You know, if you're in an open area and you just get approached by, and that's why they come over here and they tell you, hey, if you're in an open area, but you're making a disturbance, they'll just let you know. And if
Right.
you just move to another open area, it's just the same process. If you're disturbing another,
But he never gave me a distance, and he was like, you know,
They don't-
almost
I
in
mean-
pursuit. And then, when I put my hand in my pocket, he was like,
No.
"Get your hand in your pocket." He was like,
for the
Yeah.
first guy, the events response guy, if he comes out,
Yeah.
the first guy that talked to you,
Yeah.
if he says, hey, we have this reservation here, we feel like you're causing a disturbance. If you just like, okay, I'll just go move over here.
But he never answered my questions. I said, "How am I causing it so I can stop?" He never answered me, sir. I have it all on camera.
Yeah.
So, like I said, that statute says you have to have extremely clear reasoning for stopping a free speech activity. And today, that was violated. And so I'm concerned if it happens again, sir, that if I'm threatened with arrest, I don't have to be arrested. If I'm threatened with arrest like I was today, that creates a situation where there's a federal potential lawsuit and a state one too. So it's a state statute. But the thing is, I just don't want that to be a problem.
Well, yeah.
So-
Well, then we go into the whole thing with, you know, okay, were you causing a disturbance? Then we're gonna have to
Disturbances are not free speech. That's not even a good word for that.
Well,
right?
that's
So,
what we'd have to prove, right? We'd have to prove that you caused a disturbance.
right, but you never even told me how I was doing it. So how can that even be?
No, I'm not saying that you did.
How could I stop something you can't even explain to me how I'm doing it? That's very oppressive. That's like telling somebody like,
I'll call him as soon as
Right.
we're done here and say, hey, maybe a better route to go is.
I need to
if
know
you're
if-
going to tell him to move.
where to move,
Just
exactly how
give
far
him a
away.
spot and just let him know what was.
You can't tell me to move to a spot. I can go anywhere on campus unless it's oppressing the activity. And that's why I'm saying if I don't know how I'm respectfully, it's like how if I don't know how I'm violating something, how can I not violate it?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's like the statute says you have to know exactly how you're violating it
Yeah.
in order for it to be clear to stop doing it. It says in the statute that it has to be extremely clear what exactly is being violated for the free speech to be stopped.
And yesterday you took a walk around. Yesterday you saw some areas, right? Some different areas.
I took a walk because I want to be arrested. That's the only reason.
You went from
Yeah.
student center down to one of the
Right, but yeah, I'm gonna ask for request the body cam footage, like I said, but I'm gonna make sure that nothing, I'm gonna see exactly in detail exactly what was violated, and I don't want it to happen again for me or anybody else because this is a message that deserves to be heard.
Yeah.
We have a right to be heard according to the First Amendment, so that's concerning to me.
Did they actually take your ID?
Yeah, they did, and they took my ID and they told me I wasn't doing anything unlawful, which is a violation of search and seizures. You know that you're not supposed to be able to take an ID without reasonable suspicion of committing a crime.
Just trying to get a thought
Right.
process,
Right.
their thought process. What did you, at that point, were you still not moving, or
I wasn't speaking. I was asking them a question. If I said I wasn't continuing to speak. They were stopping right there. He told me to get down. I got down. He asked me to move down because I was on top of an elevated thing. And then he said to keep speaking to him. And then he said, and then I asked him, if I stay right here, will I be arrested? And then he said, and then, but actually before he asked, that's after he asked for ID. You can see it on your body cam footage. He actually asked for the ID before he threaten me with arrest, but he did say that I believe so. You have to check on that. I'm not honestly not completely positive, but I wasn't continuing to speak. I was asking him how I could not violate this and what would violate it.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't answer me. He was getting frustrated because he probably couldn't answer it. And then he asked for my identification. I said, "Sir, am I violating the law?" He said, "No." I said, "Well, you can't. Am I under investigation? You can't get my ID." I said that and it's on camera. He still got it. He still said, "You have to give it to me." So that's concerning to me too, because that's unlawful. That's not a lawful request for identification. Not just request, he demanded it basically. So he said, "You have to give it to me." From an officer, that's a lawful order. So that's
I'll look at it as soon as they download.
that's concerning to me too. So, but anyway, I have to go. I told Victor I'd be out. So.
Okay. Yeah, I
All
think
right.
he's gonna be parked over here, but
Sure.
he's talking about where he was. So.
All right, Captain.
All right, good luck.
All right, thank you. Yeah.